for tuning into BearKlaw's gaming room? If you're new here, this channel is your go-to space for expert video game walkthroughs, gameplay breakdowns, and pro-level tutorials. Whether it's taking down epic bosses, navigating complex maps, or just finding smart ways to level up your skills, I'm here to make every challenge more approachable and a whole lot more fun. Today, we're kicking off something brand new, and I'm really excited about it. This is the first video in a series dedicated to Schedule 1. A fast-growing indie hit that's been turning heads on Steam. It's a game that blends open-world exploration, strategy, and some high-stakes risk-taking as you work your way up from nothing to building an empire. Now, I know a lot of new players are diving in, and let's be real, getting started can feel a little overwhelming. That's exactly where I come in. In this series, I'll be breaking things down step by step, guiding you through the basics, pointing out early mistakes to avoid, and helping you understand the systems that make this game tick. By the end, you'll not only know how to survive those first tricky hours, but also how to set yourself up for long-term success. So if you're ready to learn, improve, and maybe even master Schedule 1, you're in the right place. Stick around, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and let's get into it. And hey, if you want to connect outside of YouTube, you can find me on Facebook and Patreon. Let's jump into the world of Schedule 1 and start building your path to power. Alright, so here we are, fresh off the bus and just starting out in Highland Point. We've scraped together enough to grab that first motel room, and we've planted our very first marijuana seed. That's our humble beginning, the root of what's gonna grow into something much bigger. But here's the truth. Without the right people to move your product, that little plant isn't gonna get us very far. So the next big step is finding some contacts. Now, Highland Point might look like just another city, but every corner has opportunity if you know where to look. The first spots you want to check out are places that naturally bring in foot traffic, people hanging out, relaxing, and willing to talk. That's where we start spreading the word. We've got a handful of key locations close to home: the arcade, the pizza shop, the local pub or motel, and the taco shop. Each one draws in its own kind of crowd, and that variety is going to help us reach different corners of a block. Early on, it's not about big deals, it's about building trust and getting your name known. Most of the folks here are pretty laid back. Approach casual, blend in, and don't push too hard. Think of it less like a business transaction and more like making friends who just happen to move product for you. A few good contacts now will not only keep your early harvest moving, but they'll also help spread the word in ways you can't do alone. So keep your eyes open, play it cool, and start laying the foundation. This is how you settle into Highland Point small connections today, big opportunities tomorrow. And don't skip past the already gained quest. These will help get you into the basic of growing, harvesting, and what supplies to use. Now that we've got our first plan to ground and a few contacts lined up, it's time to start thinking bigger. Growing one plant at a time isn't gonna cut it for long, so the next step is making sure we've got the supplies and setups to keep things moving steadily. That means buying seeds, soil, and, if you want to get fancy, some optional grow additives to give your crops that extra push. Seeds and soil are the basics. Without them, nothing happens. Make sure you've always got a little stash set aside so you're not left waiting for your next growth cycle. Additives can give you a boost, but they're not required early on. Use them wisely if you've got the cash to spare. Speed growth. Increase growth by 50%, taking half of the growth time off at once, but at the cost of plant quality by 1 star. PGR. Increase yield, but at the cost of plant quality by 1 star. Amounts differ in grow temps. Fertilizer. Increase quality of your plants by 1 star. This can effectively save 12 hours of using a drying rack to gain 1 quality star, depending on your quality goal. Now, here's where strategy really kicks in. Grow tents. Having just one setup is fine for starters, but the real power comes when you scale up. I recommend aiming for a second tent as soon as possible, and eventually building up to no more than 8 tents. Any more than that, and you risk stretching yourself too thin or drawing unwanted attention. 8 is that sweet spot where you can produce at scale while still keeping things manageable. Let's talk about suppliers. These guys are the backbone of your operation. At first, you'll only be working with dead drops, and that's actually a good thing. Keep showing up, keep buying, and keep building that loyalty meter. Why? Because once you max out loyalty with a supplier, you unlock deliveries, for a small fee, of course, and that is an absolute game changer. Having raw product come to you saves time, reduces risk, and lets you focus on running your empire instead of running errands. So, stock up, plan your tents wisely, and never neglect your suppliers. Trust me, your future self will thank you. You can still use the option to meet up with the suppliers, but this does not gain you loyalty, just able to buy as much raw components as you can carry. Not bad if you have a vehicle later on. We've all been there. You are low on cash, your grow is about to finish, and you got bills that got to be paid. Schedule 1 gives you some desperate times options. In the early game, you can interact with ATMs and cute vending machines to get a little quick cash. It's fast, messy, and it's not something you want to make a habit of it, but it can tide you over when you're strapped. Here's the deal. These machines usually drop small. One-off payouts not enough to fund a big expansion, but handy for seeds, soil, or a quick tent upgrade. The trade-off is heat. Messing with public machines draws attention. Bystanders, cameras, and law enforcement NPCs can be nearby, and if you get busted, you'll lose time and money. So treat this as a last resort emergency move, not your main cash flow. Best practices in game. Scout the area first, keep interactions quick, and don't hang around after you get the cash. If you're playing co-op, consider having a teammate watch the exit or create a diversion through normal gameplay, not by suggesting any real-world wrongdoing. And once you've got a little breathing room, switch back to safer income sources, small harvest flips, dead drops with low loyalty suppliers, side missions, or selling unused gear. Bottom line, ATMs and vending machines can patch your wallet in a pinch, but they come with consequences. Use them sparingly, plan your escape, and focus on building sustainable income so you'll never need to rely on them again. Even the mob wise guys and self-made men did the dirty when necessary. All right. Schedule 1 doesn't use a vague heat meter. It uses a clear wanted system with distinct states. Investigate. Under arrest. I want to get her alive. Know what state you're in, that alone changes how the police will behave. A key mechanic to watch for is the NPC phone meter icons. If you attract attention discharging a firearm, attacking NPCs, or being seen by cops, nearby NPCs can start a call. That fills a meter. When it finishes, police are alerted and you get put into the investigating state. Knocking out the caller stops the meter, but that's risky and may create new problems. Body searches and checkpoints are none a big deal. Approaching a checkpoint or lingering in front of officers can trigger a search. Failing, it jumps you to under arrest. Know your surroundings, and don't stare at officers for too long. When you're being hunted, your best moves are evasion, not heroics. The game supports hiding in dumpsters, shrubs, behind objects, returning to an owned property out of line of sight, or moving to areas police can't path to. All reliable ways to shake pursuit. Use vehicles' verticality and line of sight to your advantage. Finally, time of day matters. Curfews and time windows affect patrol density and searches, so plan big moves outside of high alert hours when possible. If you do get caught, accept the cost, learn what triggered the spike, and adjust your routines. Stagger harvests, rotate drops, or unlock deliveries to reduce street time. find a route and commit it to memory. Do a quick recap to lot this open and chapter down. If you want to run a clean, reliable start in Highland Point, here's what you need to remember. You need 3 things to keep the wheels turning: materials, timing, and quality control. Materials like seeds, soil, tents. Start with 1 tube. Scale up to the sweet spot of 8, and occasional nutrients if you're going for premium crops. Stagger your growth cycle so you're not moving huge loads at once. Small, frequent harvests keep cash flow steady and reduce risk. Curfew and time windows in the game change patrol density and some payout dynamics. Meeting customers during off-peak hours can sometimes net better deals, less competition, higher demand, but it also raises risk because patrols shift. Think of those time windows as potential bounces, higher returns if planned right. Use dead drops or scheduled meetups during these windows rather than long face-to-face runs to minimize exposure. Loyalty is your currency. Max them quickly deliveries unlocked at Max Loyalty are game changer. Heat is mechanical. Treat it like a timer. When wanted, don't fight unless it's your only option. Use own safe houses, alleys, rooftop lines, or vehicle routes to break line of sight and let the wanted state time out. Learn a couple of reliable escape routes near your hub so you can react without thinking. Keep your Diva well stocked with neighborhood-appropriate mixes. Cluster customers geographically for your dealer so each run nets multiple sales. Avoid offloading your highest value accounts to a rookie dealer. Keep mid-tier steady buyers on him and save top spenders for direct negotiation when you scale. Best customers to assign to Benji: Kyle, Kathy, Sam, Peter, Donna Motel, Peggy, Ludwig, Beth clustered in Northtown for compact runs and steady turnover. Benji's your first real step away from doing every single deal yourself. To To unlock him, you'll usually need to be friendly with one of his connections. Chloe, Ludwig, or Beth is the good links. Then offer Benji the signing fee and he'll start selling for it.
Cost is low early on. Benji asks for $500, and he takes a 20% cut of sales once he's working for you, so he's cheap insurance against doing every run yourself.
Why hire Benji? Simple. He handles up to 8 customers for you, turning your phone blow-ups into steady passive income while you focus on production, supplier loyalty, and bigger expansion moves. Treat him like a workhorse. Keep his inventory stocked with mixes that match Northtown tastes, and he'll convert those neighborhood runs into reliable cash. You made it through the rough morning. Hotel booked. First 10 up, and a single plant growing. Now it's time to pull all one's tiny wins into a reliable routine so you can scale without self-sabotage. First things first, buying supplies and maintaining seed levels. Keep a rolling stockpile of seeds of basic soil so you never have dead hours waiting for the next cycle. Premium nutrients and grow chemicals are tempting, but early on use them sparingly. Save the heavy recipes for targeted, high-return grows. Treat seed levels like ammo. Small, frequent restocks beat large, risky, all in orders. That steady cadence keeps production moving while preserving cash for emergencies. Next, work in dead drops with suppliers. Early supplier interactions are your reputation playground. Dead drops are low profile and low reward at first, but they let you build loyalty without putting a big footprint on the street. Order in manageable batches. Pay promptly, and rotate your drop zones so patterns don't form. Focus on 2 or 3 reliable suppliers to max loyalty quickly. The payoff is deliveries and meetups later, which dramatically cut down your street time and exposure. Loyalty is the long game. Treat it like a long-term investment, not a shortcut. When things go sideways, knowing hiding spots and getaway paths and Highland Point saves you time. In-game, this means using owned properties, alleys, rooftop lines, and quick vehicle exits to break line of sight. Don't hang around after a risky move, slip into a safe house and let timers cool. Build muscle memory on a few reliable escape routes near your main hustle zones so you can move without thinking. Remember, this is about smart in-game positioning, not real-world advice. Play within the game's mechanics. Also need to keep feeding the network. Looking for new customers is constant work. Hit high-traffic social spots. The arcade, taco shops, pubs, and pizza spots. And use small, low-risk sales to expand word of mouth. Recruit a mix of quick-flip customers and a couple of steady, higher-value buyers. Assign dealers to neighborhoods and cluster your routes, so each run nets multiple sales with minimal travel. Co-op players should split roles. One handles deals, another watches exits, another manages inventory. Finally, work the beginning quest like it's your tutorial. That's the close of the chapter we've covered. Supplies, supplier loyalty, escape awareness, customer building, and early questing. In the next part of the series, we'll dig into automation, hiring and leveling dealers. Stick around, we're just getting started.